A shadow stretches across the Middle East, moving faster than sound and carrying the potential for a conflict unlike any before. The rivalry between Iran and Israel has entered a new, more dangerous phase, one defined by hypersonic missiles. These weapons threaten to upend decades of military strategy, making the unthinkable suddenly possible. The standoff, already a source of global anxiety, now teeters on a technological precipice where speed is the ultimate weapon. For years, the world watched as Tehran and Tel Aviv clashed through sanctions, cyber attacks, and proxy wars. There were red lines and a fragile understanding of limits, now shattered. Hypersonic missiles erase old calculations, compressing leaders' decision time from minutes to seconds. This creates fertile ground for miscalculation. A mistake could spiral into full-blown war with global consequences. Iran has unveiled a missile it claims can defeat any defense system. Israel, long reliant on technological superiority, faces a challenge that may be beyond its current capabilities. This isn't just about one country's new weapon, it's about a fundamental shift in the balance of power in one of the world's most unstable regions. The question is no longer if conflict will happen but how it might unfold in this new era of ultra-fast warfare. We'll explore what hypersonic missiles are, why they're so hard to stop, and how Iran's ambitions and Israel's defenses are colliding. This is about more than hardware. Technology is rewriting the rules of war, pushing old enemies closer to a confrontation no one can control. The world is watching, because what happens here could set a precedent for conflicts everywhere. To understand the fear, you have to understand the technology. Hypersonic missiles travel at speeds greater than Mach 5, over 3,800 miles per hour. At that velocity, a missile could travel from Tehran to Tel Aviv in minutes. But speed isn't the only factor. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons can maneuver unpredictably at low altitudes. There are two main types: hypersonic glide vehicles, which detach from rockets and glide to their targets, and hypersonic cruise missiles powered by scramjet engines. Both can make sharp turns and change altitude, evading early warning radars designed for high, predictable arcs. This makes them incredibly hard to detect and intercept until it's almost too late. Traditional missile defense is like shooting a bullet with another bullet. Difficult, but possible because the path is predictable. Defending against a hypersonic missile is like shooting at a bullet that can dodge at the last second. The combination of extreme speed and unpredictable movement is revolutionary. These weapons are designed to evade and overwhelm even the most advanced air defense systems. They're not just faster, they're smarter, built to survive and deliver their payload with near certainty. This is the core of the problem. Hypersonic missiles compress reaction time and make defense almost impossible. The arrival of these weapons changes the entire calculus of war. Iran has made a bold claim, unveiling the Fatah, its first domestically produced hypersonic missile. Iranian officials say it can reach speeds up to Mach 15 and strike targets up to 1,400 kilometers away, putting all of Israel within range. The Fatah's movable nozzle supposedly allows complex maneuvers, making interception nearly impossible. Iran's leaders boast it can bypass Israel's Iron Dome and arrow systems. Western analysts are skeptical. Developing a true hypersonic weapon is a massive technological challenge. Some believe the Fatah may be a maneuvering re-entry vehicle, not a true hypersonic glide vehicle. Still, even a credible prototype is a leap forward for Iran's missile program. The psychological impact is as important as the technical reality. Whether or not the Fatah is as capable as claimed, it forces Israel and its allies to plan for the worst. Iran has put a new, terrifying card on the table. Its opponents have no choice but to take it seriously. Iran's drive for hypersonic missiles is rooted in its strategic reality. Surrounded by adversaries and with a relatively weak conventional military, Iran relies on asymmetric warfare. Missiles are the cornerstone of its doctrine, deterrence through the threat of painful retaliation. Hypersonic missiles are the next step, seen as the ultimate guarantor that its threats can bypass even the most advanced defenses. There's also national pride. Only a handful of nations possess such technology. For Iran's leadership, developing hypersonic weapons is a propaganda victory, proof of scientific and military prowess despite sanctions. The Fatah's unveiling was as much political theater as military advancement, meant to boost morale and intimidate rivals. These weapons also give Iran new offensive options. In a crisis, the ability to launch a surprise, unstoppable strike could paralyze an opponent at the outset of war. This changes the strategic calculus, giving Iran a potential first-strike weapon. It's a high-stakes gamble to reshape the military landscape of the Middle East. Hypersonic capability is about deterrence, prestige, and leverage. For Iran, it's a way to level the playing field against technologically superior foes. The stakes have never been higher. Israel has built one of the world's most sophisticated multi-layered missile defense networks. Iron Dome intercepts short-range rockets. David's Sling covers medium-range threats. Arrow systems target long-range ballistic missiles. This architecture was designed for predictable ballistic trajectories. Hypersonic glide vehicles don't follow these patterns. They fly low, maneuver and evade detection until it's almost too late. By the time a system like Arrow detects a hypersonic missile, it may be too late to intercept it. Iron Dome and David's Sling aren't built for Mach 5 speeds. A true hypersonic weapon could exploit the gap between Israel's defense layers. It would fly too high for lower-tier systems, too low and erratically for upper-tier ones. This is the vulnerability Iran hopes to exploit. It's a direct challenge to Israel's national security strategy. The stakes for defense have never been higher. Defending against hypersonic missiles breaks the traditional model of missile defense. The old sequence, detect, track, engage, falls apart. Hypersonic weapons attack every step, creating multiple points of failure. Detection is compromised. Flying low, hypersonic missiles evade early warning radars until the final minutes. This slashes warning time, putting immense pressure on automated systems and human decision-makers. Tracking is a nightmare. These missiles can make sharp turns, constantly changing their trajectory. Existing systems aren't built for this level of unpredictability. The engagement phase is even harder. Interceptors must be faster and more agile than ever. At hypersonic speeds, air friction creates a plasma sheath, distorting radar and making targeting nearly impossible. For Israel, even new sensors won't be enough. Entirely new interceptors are needed. The speed of these weapons outpaces the speed of human judgment. The old rules of missile defense no longer apply. Hypersonic missiles demand a complete rethink of how nations protect themselves. The margin for error is vanishingly small. Hypersonic missiles do more than challenge defense systems. They alter the strategic balance and raise the risk of war. These weapons create a powerful incentive to strike first in a crisis. If Iran believes it can decapitate Israeli leadership or neutralize command centers, it might be tempted to use hypersonics at the outset. Conversely, Israel might feel pressured to preemptively strike Iran's missile sites. This use them or lose them dilemma puts both sides on a hair trigger. The compressed warning time increases the risk of miscalculation and accidental war. Leaders must make decisions in minutes based on incomplete information. The speed of these weapons outpaces human judgment, raising the possibility of catastrophic mistakes. Hypersonics erode Israel's technological edge, emboldening Iran and destabilizing the region. A nation that feels its deterrent slipping may take greater risks to restore the balance. The entire region becomes more volatile. The Iran-Israel hypersonic standoff is part of a global arms race. The US, Russia, and China have all pursued hypersonic weapons, each seeking an edge. Russia has used hypersonic missiles in Ukraine, aiming to bypass NATO's defenses. China's rapid progress threatens US military dominance in the Pacific. The US is racing to catch up, but setbacks and delays persist. As major powers develop these weapons, the technology spreads. Proliferation, through sales, espionage, or independent development, becomes inevitable. Iran's program likely benefited from Russian or Chinese knowledge. The global dynamic is clear. As hypersonics mature, more nations will join the race. This increases the risk of regional conflicts escalating into global crises. The Middle East is just the beginning. The world must grapple with the consequences of this new era. As of June 2025, the Middle East faces unprecedented uncertainty. Hypersonic missiles have thrown a wild card into an already volatile game. One path is a costly technological race, Israel and the US scrambling to develop new defenses. This will take years, leaving the region vulnerable in the meantime. Israel may feel compelled to preemptively strike if it detects Iran preparing to deploy these missiles. Such a move could trigger a massive regional war. Alternatively, mutual vulnerability could force a fragile new deterrence, both sides too afraid to strike first. But this stability is unstable, relying on perfect communication and rational actors. The risk of accidental war remains terrifyingly high. The world watches, hoping for de-escalation and diplomacy, but arms control seems distant. The Fatah missile has changed the conversation, shortening timelines, raising stakes, and bringing the region to the brink of a new kind of warfare.